Yo, check 1 2 1 2. In the place to be. AC Sports Live, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. West Coast time. Streaming live, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Partnering up with my new homeboys, the Empire, the Evil Empire, the Sports Empire Network. Going live from the network, going live on AC Sports Live, going live on 1585 show page. Appreciate all the love, all the feedback. And it's all entertainment, man. All entertainment. It's for the love of the game. And you gotta have a lot of love for the game. Because the game don't stop. I'm AC, man. This is AC Sports Live. And football's back. The Dodgers are rolling. I'm keeping an eye on tonight's game, trying to see what the score it is. I know we were up. We had just went up. It looks like we lost. It happens. That's why they play so many games. My 2 cents, some sports memes, sports flicks, hard knocks, and legacy. And my tender love minute. Why athletes say, "Hi, Mom," when that camera hits them. This is AC Sports Live. I appreciate you. Let's get it.
Hostile. I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
All right. It's football season, man. So I'm pretty geeked up about that. Just got off the football field, so I'm a few minutes late. Funny story, man. I'm coaching my son's football team, and he has a braid appointment. So I got to cut my meeting short. Coaching staff putting together the game plan for Friday night. I got to tell the head coach, yo, we got to roll. My son has a braid appointment. Only in Long Beach, California, will you have a braid appointment during coach's meeting. Can't make this stuff up. So he's at the braider right now. I'm with you guys streaming live right now. I'll probably get in the pool, get my laps in, and then go pick him up at about 10:30, 11. That's a full day. Dad duties never stop. Who's in the building? We got Freddie Henderson in the building. Big Freddie Henderson in the building. What up, sir? Dustin Reese in the house. What is good with you, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? Appreciate y'all coming through, man. All right, we streaming live on various networks, but we want to make sure we give the Sports Empire Network mad love. My man Freddie reached out. We connected, and it's an automatic vibe, bro. Automatic vibe of guys with positive outlooks, big dreams, big plans, big picture. Nothing's too small. So I'm all for it, man. Check us out on the Sports Empire Network. It's coming. Soft launch just happened. We're about to blow this thing up. Football's back, man. High school football in California is huge. High school football in Texas and Florida is huge. High school football in Ohio is huge. But what I know more about is the California scene. So I posed the question with the college coming up, I believe in the next week or so. Pro, all of our fantasy drafts are pretty much this week because football starts next week. It's happening fast. We gave the kids a countdown about a month ago. We were trying to scare them. The season is here. You got about 30 days before the first game. Now you got 20 games or 20 days before the first game. 10 days. Guess what? It's 2 days before game time, fellas. I told you it would go fast. I told you. Now we want to see who's going to cramp up game one. Because we're trying to tell you better hydrate. It's nothing like the first game of the season. Football's back. I'm pretty sure y'all geeked up. The Queen Elaine's in the house. Where you at? You still in Waco, Texas? We out in Waco, Texas. It's 11 o'clock in Waco, Texas. Elaine, in your retired years, you are up way too late. Get some rest. You earned it. Big Gardner in the house. Let's get it. Let's go. My man on the red carpet looking spiffy. Spiffy in the thumbnail. All right, man. So what I want to see. Football's back. We can give our predictions. We got a bunch of football shows on the Sports Empire Network. I'm going to let those guys handle that. I'm going to come from the gut. What I want to see this year in football, with all the NIL deals, with all the transfer portals, all the high school trades. We just saw our first high school trade amongst power private schools here in Southern California. What I want to see. Elaine's still on Cali time. It's hard to break old habits. Football this season. On the high school level, I want to see the re-emergence of the public school. And I want to see them compete with the power private school. Like the days of old. When Long Beach Poly and Mission Viejo and Corona Centennial were able to battle the Boscos and Mater Days and the J. Sarahs and the Servites, the haves and the have-nots. On the football field, it was all equal. I want to see that. Warren is back in the mix with Nico at quarterback. Polly's in the mix. Curry at quarterback. Los Alamitos going down to Florida to play against American Heritage. That's not going to be no easy win. But I would love to see that public school go down to American Heritage private school and shock the world. My good buddy, former teammate in New Orleans, Earl Little's son went to American Heritage. He's now at Alabama. But they got some talent down there in American Heritage. That's where the cream of the crop goes from Florida. Even if you're from Miami, Northwest Miami, I believe there are like 4 powers in Miami in the public school ranks, but then the private school, American Heritage. So we'll see what Los Al does. I believe that's next Friday, I believe. It could be this. I was watching Griffin News, my old stomping grounds, where one of my proteges is now the teacher there. Connor Brown's doing an excellent job, and I watched Griffin News, and they said the football team is flowing down to Florida. So it might be this Friday. I got to check. No, I believe it's Saturday. They're going to play on ESPN, so we get to check them out on TV. But I want to see the public school get back in the conversation. No longer will it just be the 2 top powerful deep pockets private schools dominating high school football. I would love to see that again. I want to see that one more time. I want to see it moving forward. Will I see it this year? I'll have to see a few games to see how the inside linemen, the trenches, the big uglies, I want to see how they fare in these first early games. I believe Warren went down to Hawaii and destroyed the Hawaii team by 50. So that wasn't really a contest. It was just the feel of going to a far remote place where the kids typically are big in Hawaii, but if they don't have the skill guys to match the bigs, then you mess around and not have any points. And that's what happened down in Hawaii. I would love to see that on the high school level. The public schools back in the mix. On the college level, I want to see parity across the board. We're seeing all this shuffling around. In the near couple of years, we'll see some of these Pac-12 teams playing in the SEC. In the Big Ten, and some of these Big 12 teams going to the SEC in Oklahoma and Texas. We're seeing UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten. Before that all happens, I want to see a big shuffle in this BCS. I want to see some teams shock the world. I want to see somebody besides Alabama and Georgia in the chip. I want somebody to re-establish the line of scrimmage. Because, yes, those were the two best teams money could buy. And how dare Nick Saban elude to Texas A&M buying their whole team. Bama's been buying their whole team for a long time. A&M with the best recruiting class in a long time should be in the mix. So all these teams that have NIL deals built into the recruiting process should have the kids necessary to compete for the BCS championship. Now for the mid-majors and the left-behind Pac-12 in the 2023 season, you better find some way to make some noise. Otherwise, it's going to be the elite versus the mid-majors. You're going to be the Big 12 and the SEC, and everybody else is going to fall off. You have some teams from the ACC, some teams from the Pac-12 still competing a little bit, where you still have Oregon. Sometimes you'll have Stanford. Like right now, Stanford's not doing too hot. They're not recruiting very heavy. Cal's not as loaded as they once were. They usually have a pretty good quarterback. They usually have pretty good skill guys. For some reason, Cal has not been getting it done. But, you know, I hope we see some parity. And in the NFL, what I want to see. NPR in the house. What's good, big bro? Go Monarchs. We will see Go Monarchs. Who you guys got the first week? Who you guys got? You guys usually schedule somebody pretty tough. In the NFL, I want to see who is going to dominate on the ground. And you know who I'm inching towards. The Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly with that ground game, but it's not going to be a mystery this year. It's going to be automatic. Nick Sirianni, they're going to run the football because we can't throw it effectively. Now we got A.J. Brown. We'll see what Jalen Hurts can do. I look for the Eagles to win the NFC East. Who's going to dethrone the Los Angeles Rams? Who's going to be the big dog in the AFC West with all those quarterbacks? We have a lot to anticipate. We can easily predict who's going to win, but I want to see who's going to ground and pound. We know who's going to throw it. They all going to throw it. Who will run the football? Is Ezekiel Elliott going to return to form? Is Lamar Jackson going to get paid so he can return to form? Because if I'm Lamar Jackson, I don't play till I get paid. Sorry, fellas. First 5 games, I can't play till I get paid. The most lethal weapon in the NFL. Got to pay that man. Regardless if he throws the ball for 5,000 yards or not, he's still one of the faces of the league. So who's going to run the football effectively this year? I personally think Lamar Jackson will be good on the Seahawks or the Steelers if the Ravens ain't going to pay him. But that's just me. That's just me. Y'all play West from Utah? Oh, man, you're going to stomp them dudes by 25, man, if not more. I'm trying to say I want to see the Raiders make it happen. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing Derek Carr and Devontae Adams put together a season for the books. Because I'm low-key, way back in the day, Bo Jackson, Raiders fan. When the Eagles are set tripping, I don't mind the silver and black. I like the silver and black. They've had some historically great players that you couldn't help but like. In particular, Bo Jackson. Mark Paul's a Raider fan too. What is this, Raider night? It must be Raider night. Deacon Hill in the house. Question for me, I think Jim Hill should retire or get a better hairpiece because his due is done. Man, Jim Hill is an OG. And OGs don't care what we thinking about. So I ain't gonna tell that brother how to wear his due. If it's dusty and you see through, a hole in your natural, he gonna rock it, man. He should cut it all off and get a new identity, Jim Hill with the bald head do the Steve Harvey. Jim Hill been doing it forever, man. As you watch the Lakers Legacy documentary, he on there looking pretty young. And this is 40 years ago. Jim Hill's still doing it, man. How long has Jim Hill been doing it? Jim Hill been doing it a long time. He's been doing it a long time. Waller is a beast. Waller is such a beast, I'm thinking about taking him early in the draft. In one of my fantasy football drafts. If a fantasy football draft has tight end as an exclusive position, he's one of the premier tight ends in the NFL. I like him a lot. You got Kelsey, you got Kittle, you got Waller. You can't go wrong. But he will be sharing the rock with Renfro and Adams. So will his numbers be what they were? Quarterbacks love tight ends because quarterbacks have to dissect defenses, and who's guarding tight ends? Most of the time, linebackers, and it's a mismatch. And for the faster tight ends, safeties can't even guard them. That's what I'm trying to tell my son. Stick to that tight end. There's some money down there. Queen said, Bo knows. Man, that's the biggest what if to me. The biggest what if in NFL history is what if Bo Jackson never got hurt. Bo Jackson was different. Bo Jackson was different. Jim Hill, the man, the myth, the legend. St. Anthony's. We play San Pedro this week. We play San Pedro this week, and then we play Mayfair next week. So we underdogs in our first 3 games. San Pedro, Mayfair, and Dominguez. We're underdogs. But we gonna shock the world, baby. We gonna shock the world. We gonna shock the world. The mighty 25. We ain't got that many people. I say he's 47, and he looks the same since I was 5. I wouldn't say that. I've been to Jim Hill's parties. I rubbed elbows with Jim Hill, and he looks a little bit different. I will say he has been here a long time. I'm not gonna say nothing about no plastic surgery, no hair, nothing. Jim been doing this for a minute, and you gotta do a lot to stay on television. Even though black don't crack, that brother been doing this for 40-something odd years and still on television. Deacon said Jim been watching him. He's been watching him since 1976. Do the math on that. That brother been doing it for 50 years. You gonna try to make your guys are not playing next week? Yeah, come see your boy, man. He's playing a pretty good brand right now. You'll be impressed. You'll probably still be on him and be about being a little bit more aggressive and stuff like that. But you got to keep in mind he's still learning. He's still only in his 7th game of his life, and he's supposed to be the only guy. So I'm like, it's a lot of pressure. However, we're not expected to win. We lost all our seniors, and now he's the only senior we got besides a couple other kids. But he's the only offered kid we got. And we're playing against teams that have 3, 5, 7 offered kids. Offered is just simply the potential kid. The teams that have potential to play on the next level. And we're in the moment right now thinking about should we commit before the season to one of these schools to make sure he's protected. Because football is a violent game and anything happens. CR Media in the house. What's up? Let's go. I like it. Let's do it. Jim Hill, 147 years old. Hey, man, you know Jim Hill. How old is Jim Hill? Man, Jim Hill sat in his chair right here. I'm walking down the street, minding my business, feeling good. I say, hey, Dr. King, I thought you were somebody else. Jim Hill is 147 years old. Like Jim Hill, Joe Louis. I've done some events with him also in the past with Magic, fundraising back in the day. I believe it. I can believe it. So that's what I want to see, man. I want to see some parity across high school. I want to see some parity in college, and I want to see who can run the football in the NFL. I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of players. I have my teams, but I want to see guys do some spectacular stuff. I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of all these different powerhouses. I want to see how much of a powerhouse. I coach one of the best high school teams ever. I was a safeties coach for Long Beach, probably 2001. We were number 1 in the country. De La Salle was number 2 in the country. Some writers had us number 2, had them number 1, and we faced off. One of the best talented football games I've ever been a part of. We came up short. They were a fine oil machine. I've never seen such precise precision blocking, such tough, tenacious pulling and tackling. We had more talent, but they had more discipline, and that's been the story of most public schools versus private schools. It's just the discipline over time. Now, if we had one more quarter, I think we would have got them, but we ran out of time, and they played the bend but don't break defense, allowed us to get yards, and they tightened up in the red zone, and that's just how they roll. That's just exactly how they roll. My OG Melvin Jones in the house. It's always good to commit early, less stress. Thanks for that info. Thanks for that advice. I just kind of felt he hasn't had an official visit. And I'm just like, well, do you commit to a team before you visit the school? The good thing about some of the schools that we've been offered is we know the staff. If you know the staff, you know you're going to be loved. Now you got to go to the campus and feel the love. Now it's hard to feel the love if kids aren't in school. So I wanted him to feel the campus, where kids are on campus, going to class, and you can feel the vibe. Because you're sending your kid off, and you want to make sure they're happy through and through, not just when the practice is their day and classes are their day and study hall and weight room. What about when it's downtime? Are they happy, or are they going to be in the portal? That's the tough part. My son's apprehension is committing to a school knowing if bigger schools come, he's going to decommit. And I said, son, that's just the name of the game. I was an early commit, and I decommitted and recommitted to, I was an early commit to Cal Berkeley to save myself a place to play. As my advisor, Don Norford, my advisor, Jerry Jaso, save yourself a place to play. Excellent education. If you get injured your senior year, you have a place to play. And in the 9th hour, my first choice came calling, and I decommit. It's a tough call, but in today's environment, it's normal. And schools know this is what happens. All they can do is put their best foot forward, present their best package to you. Now it's an NIL deal, part of the package. We got these different companies waiting to escort you to the green room and become the spokesperson for a product, and then they'll pay you this much money, and then that's how it's been going down. You hear how A&M get all them recruits. They all had a bag. They all got what they wanted. And a lot of these schools, I believe BYU has a scholarship that has a NIL deal caveat. If you're a walk-on, they're going to make sure you get a preferred walk-on, going to get an NIL deal that covers his tuition. So you find loopholes in these different programs, and that's kind of what is going to be the determining factor for a lot of kids, is how they are going to be treated, what type of professional connection. Because I know USC and UCLA have like movie producers lining kids up with production credits. I mean, who can compete with that? You got a Hollywood director at practice. I was at UCLA's practice, and there was a movie producer. I'm like, isn't that so-and-so that produced so-and-so? Like, wow. He's like, yeah, I'm going to work with some of the kids who are in communications department and set them up with some production. I'm like, that is probably the best thing I've ever heard of, because I was a production kid. I was a communications major at UCLA. I would have loved to have an NIL deal to New Line Cinema or Sony Pictures, or where I worked at, Fox Studios. So all those things are now in the works. OG said, no, get an official visit. That means they are committing him. So I know when we came out, we were offered and we were wine and dined, but all those visits didn't always come with a official offer. Now, I remember my conversation at Fresno State my conversations at Cal, my conversations at UNLV, they all came with, we want to offer you a scholarship. Are you going to accept it? And I was already given a pitch. When they offer you a scholarship, you say, I appreciate the offer. I'm not prepared to commit at the moment. I want to continue to pray about it and weigh my options and see what's the best fit for me. Now, when I was sent to Cal Berkeley, I was given instruction that at this point, this is the best degree on the schools that have offered you verbally over the phone, or come to the school and seen you and offered you. If they offer you at the hotel, you might want to commit to save yourself a place to play at a high prestigious college. And at that time, Cal was still popping. The only problem with Cal was Dan Snyder left. And then the new coach had came in, and the head coach was trying to keep the recruits that had committed to Dan Snyder to stay at Cal. So when I got to the hotel room with the head coach that had just got the job, I told him I'm still pretty excited about Cal, and I think I'm going to commit. And he was super happy about it. Me and another recruit that night committed, and we both, they gave us all kind of stuff, and it was pretty cool. In the back of my mind, I'm still like, when UCLA or SC calls, I'm probably going to go there. But today is different. So if it's now, because they've given him the official offer, Big Mel. So now they want him to commit before the trip. And this is a couple of schools that want him to commit, like right now. And I've had a couple of schools tell him, if we offer, we want him to commit. And I was kind of like, well, that's not how this works. I kind of want to see. Gardner said free education is game changing. I'm rooting for young cops. I appreciate that. There's levels to recruiting that people don't know. Man. And I'm not naive to that. I was very aware that I was not that first choice of some schools. And I think a lot of kids get that wrong. Just because a school offers you, or because you're on their recruiting list, doesn't mean when you get there it's going to be you're going to be starting. You're going to be a guy that has to earn a spot. And a lot of these kids don't go into it with that mindset. They go into it thinking they're going to be handed a position. That's why a lot of kids end up in the portal. They don't know that there are levels to guys. We saw it. We saw it at UCLA. You figure if it's 25 of us, only 2 of them were going to be playing. That was Jonathan Ogden and Sharman Shah. Now Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those were the highest 2 recruits in our class. Rightfully so. Transcendent talents. The rest of us were good talent, but we all redshirted. So out of the 25, 2 played. Everybody else redshirted. I believe 5 of them went on to drop out. About 3 or 4 of them went on medical red shirt. A couple of them just retired, just stopped playing football and went to school. It's crazy. It's like not as clean and cut as some people would like to think it is. And remind you, man, the lines are open. I got a line, I got a link. If anybody wants to hop on the podcast and speak, I got a link, man. Let me put this on there for you guys. Anybody want to hop on the show? It's an open line tonight. So let's see what it is. Any guests want to hop on? I'm going to put it in the line. If anybody pop in the green room, you can come on in. Let's see where we at. I open my Facebook and I see Big Willie Mack on my feed. Big Willie Mack always doing big things. The big OG. I was telling somebody the other day, I used to ride to school with Willie Mack every day in the 240Z. So Big Willie Mack in a little bitty 240Z, and I'm riding shotgun every day. And how that came about was funny. I'm riding the school bus, and he's like, yo, you can't be rocking with me and riding no school bus. So when I get up in the morning, you come over my house, and you hop in the car, and we'll go to school. So I'll put this link in the chat if you want to hop on the show. A bird in the hand is better than 2 birds in the bush. Man, you making it real convincing. I'm like, yo, do we commit before the first game? Or do you bet on yourself? I tell him, I said, you get 5 sacks and 2 touchdowns, your pay grade goes up. Your worth in this situation goes up. But ain't nothing wrong with a little insurance. Game done changed. OG said NIL is a new university booster. And it's been going around forever. Who hasn't? Well, I'm not gonna put anybody out there like that. But I know I've gotten a $500 handshake before, and it wasn't even in college. Elaine said the college game has changed. Rodney Sauce in the house. Yo, what's good with you? Old school. Recruiting games wild. I wonder how wild it was at SMU when Eric Dickerson was coming out. When ED came out. I know he had cars in his driveway. Little duffel bags full of cash. Could have been. SMU got the death penalty because they was recruiting. Why would the number 1 recruit in America go to SMU? The bag. I wonder what happened when Malachi Nelson went to Texas A&M last week. As an SC commit, he went to Texas A&M. And Texas A&M got that oil money. Oil money. Think about this. Everybody are the alpha until they get on campus, and then the real alpha appears. Isn't that every league? The NBA, the NFL, MLB. Everybody was a pro. Everybody was the best. My OG, Melvin Jones, about to hop on the show. What's good? What's good? What's good, Dr. Jones? All right, man. So, quick backstory for those watching, man. Melvin Jones, one of the best 3 guard small forwards to ever grace the Long Beach Poly hardwood. One of the best football players, too. He just didn't continue in football. But I remember him playing football, too, as one of my OGs on the west side playing with Vidar, Sextons, Jets. I believe he played for all them teams. But had he kept playing football, he would have been something else. Melvin Jones, man, where you at? I saw you a minute ago. Where'd you go? Camera. All right, we'll get him in a second. When his camera come back on, and we'll unmute and get him right. Mute. When I see your picture, I bring you back on. So yeah, the recruiting game has changed. No diggity, no doubt. And we parents, we coaches, we gotta be looking out for our kids, because they don't know nothing. They think they get some sweet uniforms. They get a couple of dollars. They think it's going to be all good. But you got to make sure that it really is all good. Or you be one of the, how many people in the portal? 1,600? 1,600 football players in the transfer portal. And how many football teams in America, Division I? How many football teams in America, Division II? With full ride scholarships. Hope I'm not overlapping. I got my own phone on. My son getting his braids done, and the lady said he's cutting his dead ends today. It's gonna cost a little bit more. Ain't that something? Ain't that a blip? It's gonna cost a little more. He got split ends. Man, that's why I was a barber back in the day. Melvin Jones, where you go, bro? You back in the Shy? Or you back home from the Shy? Rodney Sauce was out there eating Chicago pizza deep dish. He said it was aight. It wasn't the best. Gardner said SMU hoops and football players are going to benefit from NIL this upcoming season. Ain't that something? It is now legal to do what SMU was doing 40 years ago. All we doing is using the oil money we got access to. That's all we doing. There he is. All right, I see him. Can I hear him? I see him. I think I see him. He went outside to get some more light. Is he coming on? Is he coming on? I got Cuzzo, Kareem Almond in the house. Sparty, Michigan State's in the house. There he is. There he is.
Hey man,
OG.
have to get some light, man.
There you go. Put the light in front of you. That's the key. Put the light in front
There you
of you.
go.
Give you some TV. There you go. Some TV tips.
I have to go in
The light gotta go in front of you.
You have to go in the backyard.
There you go, man.
Right.
Hey, good to see you, man.
Yeah,
How's
man.
everything,
I want to say, man, I'm proud of you, man. Yeah, I can't complain, man. I can't
Hey,
complain.
man.
It was interesting. You was talking about the recruiting with your son,
Yeah.
and I was like, I mean, you can't go wrong with whatever advice you give him.
Yeah.
'Cause at the end of the day, he's getting a free education. All right.
Hey.
Right. You don't have to pay for it.
Exactly.
So, but I think there is some credit to signing early. It takes away the stress, right? And you already know where you're going after you graduate,
Right.
right? Now some people might have them. Hey, you might get a bigger offer. I had this one coach told me, if you're a Duke player, you get a Duke scholarship, right? Wherever so wherever team's after you, that's pretty much where you're supposed to be at. So you have to be realistic. You want your eyes open,
Right.
rather than closed.
Well, that's good advice because being realistic, my son only been playing. This is going to be his 7th game in his life. He didn't play Pee Wee.
Okay.
He didn't play.
Okay.
He told the 562 that his only prior experience was ultimate frisbee, and that was a god honest answer. He played rack 'em up. Of course, he did well in rack 'em up because that's just manhandling each other. And
Right.
and I'm just like, I'm not going to ask you or tell you to play football. You're going to have to come to me and tell me you want to play, because it's not the kind of sport that you just jump up and play because you think it's the thing to do. You got to love it. And he loves it now.
Right.
But I said, you're still a pup, though. There's a lot you don't know. So a team that gives you a ride is going to have to be patient with you. You're going to probably redshirt because you're still learning. It's a high learning curve. We played football from we were 8, like West Side Long Beach, East Side Long Beach. We played football and learned at a high level. That's why so many pros come out of poly, because we had a skill set and a standard that kids had to live up to, which made us better prospects. And it's not anything different in the water. It's just the teaching that went on. But going back to you,
and it's interesting, that teacher you brought up was, you forget, we had poly legends coaching. They were at poly, like the Mark Carriers,
yeah.
and the Williams, it was just interesting. We had those guys coaching us. As they coach us, then we go see them play. So it was almost like you almost was indoctrinated into football, especially in Long Beach.
And you talked about the stress.
Yeah.
You were in a big time basketball situation. You, Rod Hannibal, McGinnis, Tyus Edney, and y'all had that stress. My son was feeling that stress of basketball. Talk about that. I mean, the stress of being looked at in basketball. Like, how critical is it being a recruit in basketball and having to play at a high level and not knowing where you're going to play after this season?
Well, so we had this conversation. Matter of fact, I met with Palmer, went to his camp just to talk to him.
You worked Palmer's camp?
I went to his camp, man. I didn't work. I just went to go see him.
Okay, you went to go see him.
I haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, it was interesting. He's on it, man. He was remembering stuff I forgot. But one of the things, that I thought about was doing my recruiting, I should have signed early because the momentum was there, right? I kind of realized that's the schools you're going to get, but I think, everybody think I could get a better scholarship. I'll wait. And then you kind of realize that's not the case, right?
Yeah,
and it's a terrible feeling knowing that, it's a terrible feeling like you could have had that and you see somebody else with it, you're like, man, I'm better than that dude. But
Yeah.
it's timing, right? And some people jump on it. But
So
the first I had a coach. I'm not gonna say what school. I ain't gonna say what name. I'm going on a recruiting trip, and I'm on this recruiting trip, and I get home, and the coach was like, "So are you gonna sign?" I said, I did a spiel. Let me see. Ready to make my commitment yet? I want to see what's else out there. The dude cussed me out.
Man.
The dude cussed me out. I won't say no names, but the dude cussed me out. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going there.
It was a different day. Now
it's a different day. Had another coach, man.
Now they got to be like, I understand. Because they know you're going to go on Twitter. Man, you won't believe what just happened to me. This fool over here told me if I don't commit.
Man, I thought that's what you do. I was like, all right, that's what you do. Okay. Took another trip. And it was a fun thing. So it was me and a couple of people that you know. I won't say their names. So we go on a recruiting trip. We fly in. As soon as we get off, they're giving us. As soon as we get off the plane, they're putting lays on us, right, on our neck. So my mind is like, "Hey, bro, we're not in Hawaii. Why they putting lays on us?" Right? I'm like, it didn't make sense to me, right? So I'm already thinking like, this is some BS. So the coach pulls up. Famous coach, he pulls up in a little golf cart. He tells us real simple, "Hey, you know what? I'm only taking one. Whoever the first one signed the scholarship. Everybody else, I get back on the plane." He gave us our $80. He gave us our $80 until we get back on the plane.
Wow.
Yes, man.
Did somebody sign?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Somebody signed. Yeah, somebody signed.
Sent y'all home?
Yeah. Yep. Huh?
They sent y'all home after that dude said,
I was back on the plane, man.
Wow.
Sent us home, man. He stayed. We went back. And the whole thing is he gave us our $80. You get $40 every day, right? For the recruiting trip.
Right.
Right, because 2 days, 48 hours. So they gave us $80, put us back on the plane, man. And I was like, damn.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was crazy.
Now you said there was another offer. You said you waited too long and it was gone.
Well, so I'm listening to people that were never there at the beginning of the whole process. And they're like, once you just wait, you guys gonna do well, you guys gonna be balling. And we did well, you know what I'm saying? We that was a good team, the 90s team. But the fact that people get mixed up, team and your recruiting, they don't coincide. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They don't coincide. You think because your team's doing well, you think they come after you. But people are like, man, I can get another kid because when you go to college, you think you're the alpha, right? Everybody alpha when they get recruited until you come on campus and you realize who's the real alpha, right? And so, you had another offer. I'm waiting, trusting that word of another person, and come to find out another person got the scholarship. I'm like, wow. Like when it comes to recruiting, there's a lot of things people can't tell me, man, that I have been through. I'm like, man, I've been when I'm the guy. I've been when I'm in the doghouse. So.
Oh yeah. And
oh yeah.
I look back and see what could have been had I gone where I was loved instead of going somewhere where I wanted to go. So I went to UCLA.
And you know what?
Yeah, and I wasn't their guy, and it showed. I had a
and I'll share with my daughter. It happened for a reason. I share with her why would you want to go to school that you like? Go to school that like you. You know what I'm saying? It's always like, when we were younger, forget the girl that you like, go to the girl who like you. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes sense, right? They want me, I should go there. But you trying to, we get caught up in wanting to be at a school that everybody knows rather than at the end of the day, nobody cares that you went to that school or not. You know what I'm saying? It's about what you do while you're there. And enjoy your good time. But as an athlete, you want to play. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be sitting on nobody's bench. Right. Especially when everybody knows that you can play. And, you sit on the bench. You like, what is this? So,
what is this?
That's why I was saying, you have to take that consideration.
Oh, yeah.
What scholarship are you trying to get? And then after that, after you get that scholarship, do you think you the man? Do you think you the one, that person? You that guy? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you're not, Because, because you'd have been the guy already. They'd have been after you already.
Yeah. And that's a hard pill to swallow because a lot of these kids been spoon-fed and told they great. And you get down there and somebody bigger, faster than you. And every year they're bringing in somebody that looks just like you to compete with you or take your spot that you were supposed to take. And these kids like,
man, listen, man.
I thought I was gonna be the guy.
Right. So look, I'm at Nevada, and I happen to walk in the coach's office. And as I walk in the coach's office, I see the board. And on the board, they got like every position, like point guard, small forward, shooting guard, and they got numbers with players' names. Helicopter flying by, and I happen to look, and I see a name that I know, and it was Fade, right?
Oh,
and I'm like,
rest in peace, Fade, Fabian Nixon.
yes.
Oh,
So the coach like, you know that guy? Like, yeah, I know that dude. You know what I'm saying? He went to my high school. He's at my high school.
yeah.
It's like, oh, we're trying to get him, but they start talking about how they try to get him and everything. But the coach broke it down to me. He was like, a lot of times we don't even get our number one pick. We get the number 3 person on the board. He broke it down to like the number 1. Everybody wants the number 1 player. Everybody wants the number 2 player. It's the 3 and 4 that you want because the third player might be an attitude problem or can't make eligibility. So now the number 4 becomes the number 1 because everybody's after the number 1. Everybody's after the number 2. The number 3 is ineligible. So the number 4 becomes the number 1. He just broke it down to me, and I was like, wow. He's like, yeah, you thought you was the only person? No, we continue recruiting.
Gotta keep them.
Even while you scoring, even while you the man on campus, we always recruiting somebody to take your spot. So
wow, man, if they think about it
was
like that,
yeah, man,
that's crazy because I still talk about Fade, man. Man.
Oh man,
he was one of the most gifted athletes. Period. Besides yourself, you, Fade, there's a couple of guys that's just like freakish athletes, and he was one of them. You were one of them. A lot of Chris Roscoe type guys that could just play everything. Tony Gwynn type guys that just play.
You know what, man?
At a high level.
There's somebody it's another guy that doesn't get a lot of credit that does that, and everybody keep forgetting. Willie was on the track team and he was on the baseball team.
Right. I know.
Right. Just think about that. That's a 4-sport athlete.
Oh man, we were all hopping from sport to sport. It was a part of our DNA to play everything by the season, and we all went different ways when we got our body types kind of filled out. We were all the same size at one point, and then we all started getting a little bit longer. Some of us got faster. Some of us. I was playing line for Coach Harris. I played offensive tackle, and I ended up running a 4.28. I ended up being pretty fast at the end of the day, but I was like just happy to be on the team. I'm blocking for Booch. I'm blocking for your brother. I'm blocking for Sean. I'm blocking. I didn't know what was going on. I was just happy to be on the team, man. But yeah, man, everything is changed when we play, brother. It ain't the same no more. So your suggestion to my young Cobb is we might think about committing early to make sure we save that good ride.
Well, like you said, it doesn't matter. Kids can decommit all the time, so it's not like he's breaking a golden rule or anything.
He just wants to be able to take his trips. So will schools be deterred and say he's committed somewhere and not give him rides? I said that's not how it really works. If they really want you, they'll still try to flip you, and that kind of will also give you a nice little indication if they really want you.
Right.
They'll still give you a ride. So we're gonna pray about it. We're gonna think about it.
Right.
And probably reach out to see what because he wants to go see the school. And I'm like, well, I wanted you to go to a game. I want you to go to the campus. I want you to look around. But figuratively, you might want to go ahead and think about doing that. I mean, even his head coach is suggesting he do that because it's a good school. The coaches love him. They told him he's 7'22", and we're like, what's 7'22"? He said he plays 7 positions of the 22 players that start. He's that good. And I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So he's going to play something. No matter what, we know he's raw. They understand that he's raw, untapped talent. And he's just getting bigger and faster every day. He just doesn't know the ins and outs, intricacies, and all the IQ that comes with being a top-level football player. He's going to have to learn that through bumps and bruises. But, we'll see, man.
Hey, man. It's a good thing when your education is paid for as a parent, right? It's like,
hey, man.
that's one less problem I gotta worry about,
Yeah. All right, man. So I want.
So you're in a good place.
Oh man, I'm thankful.
Yes,
man.
sir.
I'm thankful, bro. Anything you want to share with the folks, man? What you got going on right now? What you been up to?
Nah, man, I'm about to go back and try to lose this weight. So
Yeah, yo.
you see me
Hey,
sweating, so I gotta get back and try to lose it.
I would say this: when you were at your prime, man, you were pimping before pimping. That's what I would kind of model. I would say that's what you were, man, compared to the players that I see play.
I appreciate
you were
it.
Scottie Pippen before Scottie Pippen. You were like a shorter Stacey Augmon. That range, that defense, man, that tenacity, OG, man. Melvin Jones, man. Watch them old Long Beach Poly versus Linwood games on YouTube. The long cat with the long arms and long legs and short shorts. That was a good old Dr. Jones, man. I got AT3 in the house. What's up, bro? Young Joe. Everybody young to you, right? Everybody young to you. Wise counsel indeed. Gonna have to go in here and talk to this kid and see where his head is at. Appreciate Big Kareem, appreciate that. Uncle Chuck in the house. I got family on the line. Uncle Chuck, it is like 1 a.m. in Jersey. Go to bed. All right, so the Dodgers lost tonight, but we still rolling. Still looking good in the standings. First place. Bad news. Walker Buehler out for the season with the elbow injury. So it looks like, let's see what the story read. The Dodgers will be without pitchers for the remainder of the 2022 season. The team announced on Monday Walker Buehler will be out, shut down for the rest of the season, undergoing season-ending elbow surgery on August 23rd. It's a tough loss, but I believe we have enough bats and enough pitching to contest for the pennant. You never want to hear that. And then you have Clayton Kershaw, his annual back problem. We got Julio Urias. I think we get a couple of other pitchers back pretty soon. I think we'll be okay, but I keep my fingers crossed. I don't like not being loaded at the pitching position. We need to be loaded. My 2 cents. All right, I got some memes. I found some memes. Gonna run through them real quick. If you don't mind, let's see what we got here. Just some memes. I like to scroll through, even if they're old. This man right here could drop 50 on us any day of the week, and we would just have to accept it. The hick from French Lick. Bird. And I don't think this is even far off. It's the gospel. That was a bad man. Twin daughters and a son. I really got 3 kids in 2 tries. Laugh out loud. Russ. Shaq responds, that's another triple-double for you. Laugh out loud. Triple-double with the kids. This one was funny to me. D-Hop with Tyreek Hill speed is the ideal receiver. Metcalf with D-Hop's hands is the ideal receiver for me. Julio Jones with Mahomes at quarterback is ideal receiver for me. Or just regular Megatron. That was a bad man. Megatron was different. Metcalf is a big joker, but he didn't have hands like Megatron. Megatron was different. That's all we got to say about that. I don't want to hear it. Tom Brady ring breakdown. All right, let's look at him. You got Eli Manning and Nick Foles on the thumbs. No rings. You got Malcolm Butler, got him that one on his index, on his left hand. The Falcons choked 28-3 on his middle finger on his left hand. The Pats defense won his ring finger on his left hand. Eli Manning is why he has no ring on his left pinky finger. The tuck rule got him his right hand pinky finger with the Charles Woodson strip. The Bucks defense got him his right hand ring finger. D forward. Man, they went back to D forward. Middle finger on the right hand. And Spygate on his index finger. So this is saying that this is not all Tom Brady. This is a non-Tom Brady GOAT meme. It ain't even really a meme, it's a post. Eli Nick. This is saying that Tom has some help. Which look are you rocking? This came out a while ago. Now it's going to resurface because now the kids today are not wearing long shorts anymore. Now, I can't get down with the 20-inch seam. The 17-inch seam, I can't get down with that. It looks like you just got out of county jail with them shorts on. I'm still rocking the 9-inch inseam with Michael Jordan. Knees showing just a little bit. Baggy. So your folks can breathe down there. I'm not rocking the 5-inch Stocktons. And I definitely ain't rocking the 2-inch Generation Z. Can't do it. Give me the 9-inch seams. This is a grammar post. Me before I type out effect or effect. I have a master's degree and I still have to think. Is it effect or effect? What's the rule again? What's the rule again? Appreciate the Big Gardener. Big Rod said, for me, Alex is progressing so quickly in a short amount of time, I would probably wait. His learning curve is different from other players because he has you to ask the right questions, help raise his field awareness, and sift through the BS. I really wanted to see him play a game where he's needed to ball out. So his head coach asked him if he would think about committing before the season. And I'm thinking after our scrimmage last week, he had like 5 sacks, a touchdown. He was clearly the best player on the field. And when he was not out there, the game looked a lot different. So I'm like, well, he's a game changer and he does not even know. He got a fumble recovery and returned it for a touchdown. And he ran so fast. And like when he gets the ball for the first time, like he hasn't caught a ball in the game. This was on a scrimmage. This would be his first real game as an offensive weapon. I just want to see how it goes. But I still know that if you commit, you can still decommit. But I just know that he, being the kind of kid he is, does not want to tell somebody with a false pretense that I'm not going to stay if anybody else comes. If Florida State comes, or Miami comes, or UCLA or SC comes, Washington, Colorado, these types of schools that, you know, what will happen. So we'll see, man. I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. Yeah, Giannis. Choose 3 players to back you up in a fight. The other 3 are your opponents. This one's hard. But at the same time, it really isn't. I'm taking Steve Adams. Is his name Steve? I've got his name. Big Adams from Australia. I'm taking Giannis. I don't know, man. Draymond or LeBron? What's Alex's 40 time? He's ran 4.42, 4.46, 4.47 for the SC Scouts. So he's a 6'4", 220-pound hybrid defensive player that can catch, but he's still working on running routes and stuff. So again, what will take 100,000 reps, he's just scratching the surface of 500 reps. Even if we go out and run 100 routes, we still got to make them natural. We have to make them smooth. And we have to make it so that he knows why he's doing certain things. Some of the natural, instinctual things that happen from a guy who's playing receiver his whole life, he doesn't have that. So I'm like, well, defensive end is where you have most of your reps. So at this point, this is probably where you be a higher recruit. Like I said, this will be his first game playing offense. So we'll see what happens. I'm going Steve Adams, Giannis, and LeBron in the fight versus 94 feet, Zion, and Draymond. We gonna win that fight. We got that. Last one. Let's settle this once and for all. Which fictional quarterback is going to be a better NFL quarterback? Crew or Uncle Rico? Uncle Rico said I could throw the football over the mountains. How much you want to bet I can throw this football over the mountains? I'll be with my soulmate in a hot tub, soaking it up. If the coach would have just put me in. Meanwhile, Crew throwing football games, playing for the prison team. Give me Uncle Rico, man. Rodney Saw said he's taking Adams, Green, and Beverly. They are funny looking and have nothing to lose. They got nothing to lose. Oh, man. All right, man. So let's take a quick look at my sports flicks was Hard Knocks with the Detroit Lions. I have to admit, I kind of like it. This Dan Campbell dude is crazy. The team got a bunch of nobodies, but I kind of enjoy it, man. I don't think they're going to win any games. They're not going to be any good, but the Hard Knocks program they got a lot of heart. The dudes on there are passionate. I just, a lot of it is fluff. And not sure how real it is as far as them believing that they can be good. They got a few good pieces. They got Jared Goff now, Amon St. Brown. But the coach is pretty funny. So I like the series. I still don't see the Lions winning more than 5 games out of 18. But the program is entertaining, if nothing else. They got some characters. So I kind of like it. I want to watch the second episode and see if it's going to be good the whole season. I don't know. Now, legacy. The Los Angeles Lakers true story that's supposed to debunk the stories that we're getting from Winning Time. Look at that. I pressed legacy in and didn't even come up as the first. I got to press legacy Lakers. All right. So it's a 10-part series. Directed by Antoine Fuqua. Oh, Lord. Amon St. Brown from Modern Day. Amon St. Brown from his daddy. Aquanimia St. Brown from his daddy. All them St. Browns was going to the NFL no matter what school they went to. Modern Day, Bishop Sycamore. The legacy, true story of the LA Lakers. It's good, but it's not that far off from Winning Time. Winning Time, of course, went Hollywood because they had to go Hollywood. They're trying to sell a biopic with people that look like the original people. A story told by outside voices. Legacy is more about the Buss family and how they started all this. Now I know it's going to be more in depth 10 episodes in, but the first 2 episodes, Winning Time's on. Only thing Winning Time got wrong maybe is Jerry West. They got Jerry West looking pretty crazy on Winning Time. And we know Jerry West was very intense, very straightforward, But they got Jerry West looking like a lunatic on Winning Time. And they might have went too far on that. They might have went too far on how reserved Kareem is, but that's just his character. It's a biopic. You're supposed to go hard on the extras. So I like them both. I kind of still like Winning Time because it's people acting. That dude trying to be Magic Johnson is funny to me. Watching Magic Johnson talk about the good old days in the dark room in the real documentary, it's cool, but you're still not going to hear the real. What I did take away from it was Dr. Jerry Buss kept a photo album of the women that he dated. And dated is the nice word. He was a ladies' man. He had a heavy appetite for young, beautiful women. And it sounds a little bit like someone we know in the NFL going through a suspension appeal process for having a heavy appetite for young, beautiful women. I'm gonna leave it at that. The way Dr. Jerry Buss and Magic Johnson ran through women reminds us of the privilege that comes with being a star athlete in these big leagues. Leave it at that. Then Q in the house. What do you mean good morning? Where you at? On the East Coast? Traveling? Flexing? Flexing. All right, man. My last segment, the Tender Love Minute. I would strike up the music, but they might shut me down. But you know what? Forget that. It's the Tender Love moment. Courtesy of Anthony Davis letting us borrow his nickname on the AC Sports Live show. His name is Tender Love. The Tender Love moment. We're talking about my son being recruited. And my wife was like, y'all, show is chummy and leaving me out. And I said, don't worry. The first time he gets a camera in his face, he's going to say, hi, Mom. I saw a video of a guy. Let me see if I can pull it up. He gets called up to the major leagues. And Bleacher Report might block this. I hope they don't. But it almost made me cry. If they'll let it play through.
Mom, I'm going to the major leagues. I'm going, Mama. I'm going, Mom. I promise. I promise, Mom. I'm going. Come on. I gotta figure out all the logistics in a second. They just told me just now. I did it, Mommy. I did it, Mom.
I could feel.
I love you so much. Thank you for everything,
feel.
Mom. Thank you. Thank you for
the love and depth of how long Mama been praying for her baby to make it, for her baby to do well, how much encouraging, how much supporting. I could feel it in their voices. That interaction right there is why athletes say, hi, Mom. Us dads might be playing catch. Us dads might be watching film with our kids. But when they get to that level and they make it to their big time in their own right, it was Mama who always believed. It was Mama who was always the comforter. When you thought you had a bad game and you just need somebody to give you a hug and a plate some chicken, some greens, some yams, and some cornbread to make it all feel better. It was mama. Any form of mama too. Mama, big auntie. Mama made it okay when you got blew up across the middle and dropped the ball. While dad's sitting there looking at you side-eye because you dropped the ball. Now everybody embarrassed. You embarrassed the name, the family name. Mama said, come here, baby. It's going to be all right. Dad won't even speak to me. Shame on us dads. Everybody makes mistakes. But Big Mama, those be the best hugs in the world. When you ain't got a friend in the world because you done messed up and lost the game. Mom could care less how that game went. Now, Mom is also your rowdiest fan. And I know this Friday, my wife and my mom gonna be in the stands acting a straight ignorant fool when their baby boys out there playing football. Ain't nothing like a mother's love. That's why big, strong, gargantuan men, full facial hair, full Rick Ross beard, millions of dollars in their pocket. Hi, Mom. Ain't nothing like it, bro. All right, man, that's my show. I believe there was a shooting at a Pee-wee football game and a man lost his life. It ain't never that serious, people. Please, please, please get out of your emotions at these ball games. These just kids. These refs ain't getting paid enough. These other families ain't worth it. I believe it's Aqib Talib's brother killed somebody at a football game and turned himself in. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. We got to do better. All right, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out with your boy. Y'all be easy. I'm going to holler at y'all again. Appreciate the Sports Empire Network for bringing me on, giving me some love. All my peeps from the original AC Sports Live channel, we still on there. We still on my page. Still trying to build this. The Brotherhood of Podcasts. I see the Collective Podcast brothers on here. Seeing Q and Rodney Sauce. I had, let's see who else we have on here. The Time Is Now podcast. We have the Sucker Punch podcast and the 1585 show. All the Brotherhood is still alive and well. Hey, man, I'm going to holler at y'all next week. Probably Friday, we're going to do the 1585 show. No, it's football season, so we have a game. So we probably have to move the 1585 show to Thursday or Saturday. Stay tuned. We'll let y'all know. I appreciate y'all hanging out, man. ASNQ said, Mama nurtured. What's one thing men ain't able to do? We can't give no big bosom hugs where you can just get lost in the bosom and feel safe and warm and cozy. As we go out to the Tender Love soundtrack, Anthony Davis' soundtrack. Let's hope he don't come back this season as tender as he was last year. AD, this is for you. We don't want that AD to stand for always down. In a bad way. Always down the ball, AD. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace out.